Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Internet is a great thing for sure, but some people had trouble when using it. And first, I would like to, I'm second time in Tallinn this year. I'd like to thank Estonian Advice Center because we are working on different projects, especially Mari-Liis and Barbara Hack. For that invitation. And yes, we started with the Logout Center for Addiction Treatment in 2010. But if I roll back this time, I think that all started in 1981. I think I was 9 years old at that time. It was a chance to see the first computer working. It was introduced in our primary school. It was ZX81 computer, which had to be connected to the TV set. Can someone remember those times? Yes, there were no internet, just computer, a tape recorder and TV set, and no graphic, fancy graphic, but just symbols and really basic thing. And this was the moment when I felt in love with computers, especially coding. From that time, I never actually stopped coding. And then time passed away. After many years, I found myself in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, studying. I was normal, like everyone else. Socializing, going out, hanging out with the friends, going to the concerts, and but still spent a lot of time with the coding. And I also worked at student radio, independent radio in Ljubljana. And me and my friends actually started a business. We started nowadays we call this a startup. And we were quite successful, so now this startup is the biggest digital agency in Slovenia. Then, in a few years, I met my wife, Petra, and she's a psychologist. One day, when we were living together for 2 years, she said, "Okay, Boris, let's sit down and talk." I don't know what's going to happen. Is this another psychological test which I have to pass again? And she said, well, Boris, you have a problem. I see that you have an issue. You spend too much time behind the screen. I said, okay, that's true, but I'm coding. I'm doing this for a job, for a living. This is creative thing. It's not, I'm doing this for fun. And she said, no, I think this is going to be a huge problem. And this was year 2006, I suppose. And she decided to research this topic, and she, in 2007, graduated with a thesis on psychological and social impacts of internet communication. And that time I had to promise her that I will take 1 day in a week without mobile phone and computer. And this is what we call today a digital diet. So I really tried to do this each week. I had to choose 1 day in a week. It was Saturday. This was the day we spent the time together without the technology. But more important, it was that she was also working as a school counselor, and she actually in 2007 said, we need to do something about it, because all the children, the kids, are really using the technology without any purpose, without not on creative way, but just for fun, just because they are bored, many of them. And she said this is going to be a huge problem in the years. Now there is 2016. All the vision, all the things that we were discussing late in the night, during the night, about how to establish something that people, the children, could use for help, has come to the situation like it is today. People constantly on the phones, behind the screens, and etc. So in 2010, we started with the Logout program. Actually, we started with the Logout and Restart program for individuals and those who have a problem with the excessive use of media or web addiction. We also provide solution for parents, for the families. It was called Logout and Connect program. Later on, we developed our program because of the need. We saw there's a lot of online violence, a lot of victims of online violence and bullying and different risky behaviors, and that those children that suffer from online violence also need face-to-face counseling. The most important is that the program that we are providing is face-to-face counseling. And this program is Logout and Speak Out. Of course, there's a program for named Digital Diet for those that are overwhelmed with technology but are not addicted. And we also provide online help and support. Among face-to-face counseling, we have many prevention programs and activities, and also different things that we think and we believe that children, if they will be inspired, might start using web in different ways. Not just as a consumers, but maybe on creative way, like starting programming, writing, designing. And that's why we organize once a year Logout Survival Summer Camp, where kids try to survive 1 week without technology, playing games and doing stuff, interesting stuff. This is one thing, and we also visit tech companies for kids to see how companies work today, and to try to motivate them to start using technology on creative way. Concerning the prevention work, we start in kindergartens. We have trainings for parents, for nurseries, and also our target groups are also students and children in schools and teachers, and of course we provide all those trainings also to people who run companies. There are different forms of excessive use of online media and addiction. One could be addicted to the social media, the other one to games, online shopping, pornography, and gambling. I'll try to differ this problematic internet usage versus the addiction. When we talk about time, too much time, we never know how much is too much. Important is what are the activities, what we do on the internet. But sometimes we all feel that there's time, it's just slipped away, we don't know when. And when we constantly have this feeling that we spend too much time, that we are overwhelmed with all those messages, ringing phones, being constantly available and being constantly connected, then we maybe are using the internet on problematic way or excessive use. This is very much attached to the time. But when there are consequences, when someone changes his behavior, for example, children don't go to the school anymore, don't have friends anymore, the favorite sport that they had, the football, or girls, ballet, they are not interested anymore in those activities. When there's only computer or mobile phone and nothing else, then we could talk of symptoms of addiction. Now I will, before I stop, because I'm actually too long now, I would just like to show you which kids are at risk? It's not that everyone who is using internet excessively will become addicted. But there's a bigger chance that the kids that are introverted, lonely, kids with signs of depression, with low self-esteem, unpopular kids, shy, those who suffer from other types of addiction, emotionally unstable and bored, there's more chance to become addicted. Later on, I hope, through the debate, we will come to this discussion about the role of different stakeholders, and we'll probably present a few best practices that we did and the other organizations in Slovenia. So, thank you.